focused and fabulous today. I hope you are too. Today I want to talk about a really funny thing that we as humans do a lot. Now, I don't want to speak for every one of you because there may be some of you who don't, but I certainly do, and almost everyone I've ever been around, client or friend or family, has also done this. So what it is it's the idea that we want something so deeply and so badly, but we want to get it outside of ourselves. So let's take, for instance, the idea of unconditional love. Many of us from the time we were small children craved unconditional love, but who we wanted it from was our parents, right? Totally understandable. And maybe you get to the age of 30 and you know in your mind intellectually that you're never going to get unconditional love from your parents in the way you needed it. But there's something subconscious that says if you give it to yourself, if you love yourself unconditionally, instead of holding out to get it from your parents, that you'll never get it from your parents. So the basic belief is that if we fulfill a need internally, the fear is that the need will never be met externally. Does this make sense to you? So I'm going to give a specific example from my life, and I want you to be thinking about specific examples from your life. So this would have been 3 years ago. It was the summer of 2015. And at the time, I was feeling this huge, deep desire for appreciation and acknowledgement. Like I had done some really hard things in the couple of years before that and gone through some challenges that I felt like I came through very graciously and that I worked very hard to keep integrity while going through these challenges. And it's like I wanted somebody to notice. Okay, I wanted somebody to say the right things. Now, the somebody I really wanted to say those things was my husband at the time. And words of affirmation as a love language are very important to me. And that wasn't his thing. That wasn't the way that he shows love. So it just got worse and worse and worse. And it got to the point where every time he would say something that was maybe feedback, but it wasn't what I wanted to hear, I was so hurt and so upset. And I was feeling very hopeless about this. I was like, I'm never, ever, ever going to have this thing that I want more than anything, which is to be seen, appreciated, and acknowledged for what I'm doing, especially what I'm doing to stay brave and in integrity in my life. So one day it came to a head. I don't even remember the exact thing. He had said something to me, my husband had said something to me along the lines of not only not appreciating something, but criticizing something. And it pushed me over the edge. So he went in the other room. I went in the master bathroom, closed the door, and I lost it. Like I was sobbing and so hopeless and almost like that desperate, needy feeling that I'm sure none of you have ever had before, but I have. And as I was crying, I was like, I have to have this. The need for the validation or for the acknowledgement was so strong in me. I was like, I have to have this. So I guess back against the wall, no other option. I'm going to give it to myself. So I got in the shower and I sat on the shower floor. It was really, I'm thankful that nobody witnessed it. It wasn't pretty. But I just cried and said out loud, softly, everything that I needed to hear. On a deep level, I acknowledged myself for all of the difficult things and all of the brave things and all of the things that I had done, and I gave myself that. And it was a life-changing experience for me. Truly, deeply life-changing. And one of the epiphanies that I had from it was that I was expecting, first of all, I was expecting somebody else to give me what I was unwilling to give myself, which is out of integrity. Secondly, that I was expecting somebody else to know how I needed to be acknowledged and appreciated, and the exact words to say. And here's the irony of that. Many of the things that I wanted to feel acknowledged and appreciated for were things nobody else in the entire universe even knew. They were inner workings. They were inner things. They were times when I was tempted to do one thing, but instead had integrity and did something else. Nobody knew that but me. And I realized that I was actually the only person that could truly acknowledge what needed to be acknowledged. And I did it just right. Just right, you guys. Shocking. I knew exactly what I needed to hear. But I realized that I had this expectation that was not only unlikely to be met by, my husband at the time, but that was impossible to be met by anybody but me. And so it's very interesting because since that time, I have had that appreciation and acknowledgement come from my partner, from Gideon. And I don't know that I could have even had the landing pad for that helicopter to land, so to speak, if I hadn't done that for myself. What we're doing when we give ourselves what we need is that we're creating space for somebody else to come in to that resonance. We have the vibration then to attract the like vibration. So I want you to be thinking about the things that you're hoping somebody else can give you, but that you're unwilling to give yourself. Are you hoping somebody else can maybe financially provide for you, but you're unwilling to financially provide for yourself because you're afraid if you do, that means nobody else ever will, right? What are the things that you're afraid to give yourself because you're sure that if you do, it will never come from outside of you? I want you to really think about this and see if you're willing to do everything in your power to give it to yourself, even just as a last-ditch effort, right? Because if it hasn't happened outside of you at this point, maybe giving that to yourself is the thing that will open that doorway for that to happen. Of course, the ultimate irony here is that once you give it to yourself, your need for it goes way down. When Gideon compliments me, acknowledges me, appreciates me, I really love it, but I don't ache for it. I don't long for it. I don't crave it because I now have the capacity to give that to myself. And that neediness that I used to have before I was willing to do that, I feel like was repelling that from coming to me. That neediness is actually a repellent. It's not because people are rude. It's just the energy of it pushes people away naturally. Whereas when you have it anyway, it's easy for people to give that to you. So I just want you to be looking at this because usually this is subconscious. You're not doing it on purpose, but the waiting to be saved, the waiting to be seen, the waiting to be heard, acknowledged, validated, and loved unconditionally. Where can you give that to yourself? So that is the question for today. If you're willing to take on that homework, and I would love to hear about it if anyone's willing to share, may your coffee be strong and your life be blessed. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. It makes a huge difference to my channel. And to check me out further, you can go to DawniAngel.com. I would love to come to your event as a keynote speaker, come to your business to do some trainings, or even work with you one-on-one. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.